Hey guys, it's Ffxiv here. Today I want to make a video about the changes that are coming to Black Mage and Dawntrail because boy do I have a lot to say. I mean, like, it's quite underwhelming and not good because despite this class and how it is to play, not that I'm complaining, not that I don't like the playstyle, but the playstyle is definitely, I would probably say, the hardest in the game because there's a lot of management and movement restrictions among the long cast time. So I believe everything that I have to say in this video will will resonate with a lot of people, but so before I get into it, it would be great if you guys could definitely subscribe to my channel for more Final Fantasy content if that's the kind of thing that you want to see. But without further ado, I'm just gonna get straight in to the video and talking about the changes that are coming to Black Mage, and it's kind of like a rant slash criticism video. I doubt Square Enix will ever even see this, but I thought that I would share my opinion. So let's talk about the first thing that I feel like needs to be addressed. So the skills, where are the skills? I can find them. So the skill High Fire 2 will definitely be receiving a potency downgrade from 140 to 100, which is significant when you think about it. Like, dang, like that's like a third down of like what it is, and that is definitely not good because High Fire 2 obviously is like pretty strong, and it even grants enhanced flare, which we will get to flare later, but that's the first one. So the other one that I wanted to talk about was High Blizzard 2. If I can find it. Yes, so High Blizzard 2 will also be receiving a downgrade from 140 to 100, which again is significant. This is like a third. It's crazy. This is not good because, like I said earlier, Black Mage is like the most difficult class to play effectively, most likely, and it's just not really worth the amount of damage slash reward you get for the complex gameplay that is, especially in higher end content where there's going to be even more movement, which is just upsetting. I don't know what Square Enix is doing, because honestly this is like the only damage class that I play. I play a healer as well. I pretty much main a healer, and I can do a whole video about the healer strike, which I will probably get to shortly before Dawntrail comes out, but that's not what this video is about. I am talking about Black Mage right here. This is like my personal favorite damage, probably my personal favorite class in the whole game, really. And to see this is just upsetting. I feel like this simplification of classes or jobs is starting to hit Black Mage, and Black Mage is meant to be a flexible playstyle. There's a lot of ways to pretty much do the same thing, and that's one of the most enjoyable things about it, because it's flexible. You can definitely adapt to your fight. In fact, that's probably one of the funniest things. Like I said, when you don't know a fight, it is probably the worst class to be in because you don't know where you're gonna have to stand, and so then you can change like your play style to fit the fight, and that's what I love about it. But now it seems like that they're trying to really make you play in like one way, which is definitely not good, and I really hope that things do change right before launch, because what I saw right now in terms of the updates are not set in stone. There is still time, and I am hoping that can change. So that's the first two things that I wanted to say. High Fire 2 and High Blizzard 2 are going to be receiving massive nerfs. Okay, so the next thing is that Flare is going to be receiving a buff slash nerf. So instead of 220 for the first enemy and 40% less for all remaining ones, and then the enhanced flare potency will be 280. Now it's just going to be 240 flat, and there's not going to be any sort of enhanced flare that I know of, which is really weird because Fire 2 is a really great skill paired with flare, because assuming when you're casting Fire 2 that there's a lot of guys that you have to fight, right? So Fire 2, Fire 2, Fire 2, and then you have to finish that off with Flare. That's the thing. That's what they're assuming, because they are a great synergy. These two skills go well together. It makes sense to cast Flare at the very end when you don't have that much mana left, because it's meant to be the finisher. You know what I mean? Like clearly Flare and Fire 2 just go really well together. It's their synergy. And now that they're gonna make enhanced Flare go away, it's like, what are they doing? It's like, I mean, like Fire 2 was like pretty good, especially because it gave that effect of making Flare stronger, so you could finish your combo with it. But now it's like, now they're gonna take that away. I just don't know what Square Enix is actually doing, but we will have to see, definitely. It's just so odd that they're making these changes. But yeah, on to the next thing. So the next thing is that Blizzard 3 and Fire 3, if I can find them. What the heck is Blizzard 3 anyways? Okay, so Blizzard 3 is gonna receive a potency increase from 260 to 280, which is nice. And Fire 3 is also going to be receiving a buff from 260 to 280, but it's like, I only use Fire 3 to literally enter into my Fire phase on a single target, and the same goes with, I do Blizzard 3 and then I do Blizzard 4. That's my combo. So Blizzard 3, I do end up casting a lot when I'm in the Ice phase, and then I use Blizzard 4, or I use Freeze to gain those Umbral Hearts, so then I can cast more fire spells in my Fire phase, which is the point of a Black Mage. It's to stay in the Fire phase as long as possible. That is really the whole gist of the class. It's really simple, but it's really hard to effectively do it in battle when there's so many things going on. Okay, so that is actually some good news for sure. So the next thing is that the way that you receive MP is not just being in your Ice phase. So basically what you do is, to get MP back, you actually have to cast in Ice Spell now, which is one of the worst things I think for Black Mage, and I'll tell you why. This is the one that really grinded my gears, because the thing is that during downtime, let's say you don't have any mana left, right? You could just use Transpose and then switch to your Ice phase, and then while the boss is doing some type of mechanic or like whatever where you can't hit him, you can gain your MP back during that period of time. But now it's like, now you can't. Now you actually have to hit him, or you have to wait until you could hit him, and you can't have your rotation ready and just prepared for when he comes back from his mechanic or whatever that may be, you know. And this is such an odd change, because I'm not even max level at Black Mage, and they've made the leveling experience for Black Mage even worse, guys. You know, as much as I love Black Mage, I gotta say, leveling it up is just atrocious. I think it's the worst job to level up in the game, not only because of the fact that you have to start from level 1, which is not even great enough, because it is one of the jobs that came out with the game when it came out, obviously. So that is like, that's like the topping. okay, that's like the bad frosting on top of it. The fact that the leveling experience of this job is not really effective, because they take out skills with each expansion. This class feels it the most, and it really feels stale and boring and not complete. It starts to feel decent at level 60, guys, and that's level 60, and I'm only level 73 now. So that should give you a great idea of like when the class will be decently like playable. And that's a long wait, you know, level 1 all the way to level 60. So, but now they've made the leveling the leveling process even worse because you don't even have, by the way, this is my next point, you don't even have Sharpcast anymore, which will guarantee either Thunder 3 or sorry, either your Thunder damage over time proc or your Fire 3 will proc, and you don't get the Fire 3 proc or the Fire starter proc I think until like level 43 or 42, and then Thundercloud is at level 26 I think. But for those of you that use Sharpcast, you know how satisfying it is to have 2 Thunder spells casted back to back, and that is like one of the most satisfying things for Black Mage for me, and it's really great. And now with Sharpcast being removed, you can't have that feeling, and that's a damage loss as well, so that is definitely not fun, and it's just I'm not really looking forward to it. So yeah, I mean, the leveling experience, I really hope that they actually do something about that, because this class is not fun to play at lower levels. Like, a lot of people stay away from this class because of that reason, and now Square Enix is making it even worse. Like, you know, as much as I say how great Black Mage is, this is really not making it fun to play, you know? So that's definitely a big issue right there. So more into that, Thunder 3 becomes High Thunder later on, and then Thunder 4 becomes High Thunder 2. And like I said earlier, the whole Thundercloud system and Sharpcast will be removed from the game, which is crazy. So I don't know how they're gonna manage that. I just hope they know what they're doing, because they better, because this class is like probably one of the most untouched classes in terms of changes compared to the rest since the game launched. It's been, I would say that it's closest to its original form, but now with Dawntrail coming, I finally feel like Black Mage is like finally starting to get hit with the simplification train that all these jobs are going to get, which is so painful. The other thing is that you'll get Thunderhead by casting Manafont, I believe, and Manafont itself is a skill that heals 3000 MP or 30% of your maximum MP. I believe that they're gonna make it recover all of your MP, which is good, but that does not like seem like a fair trade, because you know, as a Black Mage, your own power is just consumed so quick, and it's a 3 freaking minute cooldown. It's not a skill that I pop off so often, so I don't really rely on it. In fact, I don't even use other skills that much. I barely use ley lines and triple cast, because I often forget that I have them, because I don't depend on them. I play as if I can't even, oh no, sorry, I play as if I don't even have these 2 skills. Really, that's like my mindset, because I don't rely on it. I would say that I'm like a true Black Mage player because of that, which is pretty funny to say. But yeah, definitely that is something that's not a really fair trade-off, and it's just not great. Although technically Manafont is getting a buff, if you want to think about it like that. So another good change is that at a higher level, they will be making Swift Cast shorter at like 40 seconds. A recast time, or no, a cooldown, I mean, which is something that all healers will get as well, because healers are in that same group with casters with the Swift Cast skill, which is amazing. So it's nice that it does affect the casters as well, and especially Black Mage, because Black Mage does need that Swift Cast to cast skills quicker, which is a nice little bonus for sure. So they're going to be adding a new skill called Flare Star that's going to be using the new elemental gauge, or the new add-on other gauge that this class will get. By the way, this job is the only job I think in the game that gets their skill gauge, or their gauge whatever, at level 2. It's actually pretty insane, but it's awesome. I love that about Black Mage. I love that it's very in tune with its own job gauge. It has the most functions in the job gauge, and the most complex one. there's so many things that you have to look for. Of course, the element that you're in, the timer, and then whether you have 3 Umbral Ice stacks or 3 Astral Fire stacks, and then you have the Umbral Heart system, which also poke out, which also kind of poke out like that on the gauge, and then that will make your fire spells less. It also has this timer for foul. There's also a paradox thing right around there. I don't have it yet, but I've seen it. It's right around there. And then they're gonna add the like Astral Flip thing. It's just so complex and so cool. That's what I love about Black Mage, and I really hope that like they don't mess that thing up. But yeah, speaking of ley lines, once again, the thing about ley lines is that we are going to be getting a new skill called Retrace, and we can actually move our ley lines. We can only do this once per a ley lines, which is good, and especially because I'm guessing that Dawntrail will be having a lot of movement mechanics, so they're giving Black Mages some grace because of that. But I really hope that like they don't mess with the job identity, because I really don't like having a lot of movement. That's why I like the class. I like staying still and like learning how to cast effectively and just what's the word, critical think about my next move. That's the thing I like about Black Mage, is that type of aspect of it. But yes, we are gonna be getting a new skill called Retrace, and I believe it will share a button with ley lines, but you could remove it if you want, which is definitely what I'm planning to do, because I love having a lot of buttons on my skill bar. As you can see, I have all of them here, and that is definitely something that I will try to do. I think that's all of the things that I wanted to kind of rant about / tell you the changes that are coming to Black Mage. I really hope that they know what they're doing. Like, I do not want this class to get messed up. Especially considering it's potentially the highest damaging job. I know it's only barely by a few percent maybe. I know a lot of people love damage so much in this game, like as if it's the most important thing, but I think people just care way too much about damage, when even the ones that are similar to Black Mage in like terms of their output are like what, like 1 to 2% away. Like, it's just so negligible that it doesn't even matter. And the fact that Black Mage is among the highest damaging classes does make sense, because it's like one of the hardest to play, if not the hardest to play, so it better be the most damaging class, right? But now after these nerfs, I'm like, I can't really say whether the damage will even be higher anymore, but I don't have numbers in front of me, so I can't say. I don't know the calculations of like how they determine the output of like each job. But also another thing to note is that Black Mages don't have any sort of buff to the whole group, and that's another thing I love about Black Mages, that my damage is my damage and your damage is your damage. I don't worry about the output of the group. It's only my damage that I'm worried about, and that's all that matters, and that's all that I have to think about. Thank goodness, because I have a whole rotation and a half to worry about on my end, and the cast time and the movement, you know, like I have so much on my plate, so it's really nice not having to worry about other people. But yeah, that's another reason why I believe that Black Mage is among the highest damage job, among one of the highest. I don't know if it is. I think it's number 2, sometimes number 1, because each time you could do more criticals, another time you might not do as much, you know, so it's not always going to be the same every time. But that's pretty much all I wanted to rant about. I think that there are a few other changes that are very minor that are not really worth talking about, but if you guys enjoyed this video, please do subscribe. It really does help me out, and I'll probably talk about the Healer Strike and my thoughts on it in the next video, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see that, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, bye guys.